Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. We are in game, and as you might have seen in your own game, there is a special tournament on right now. It's a spider tournament, but only using champions from the Corrupted Alliance for amazing rewards. Now, here's the thing. The Corrupted Alliance, I've done several of these videos before. The Corrupted Alliance is by far the best faction, and it's not even funny. Like in my group here, there's a dude already that has 2,500 points. People are going to go hard for this, so definitely don't be expecting to win this one, but maybe it's going to be worthwhile to go in and grab the Epic Tome, the Void Shard. It's not terrible rewards. We do have, starting from tomorrow, as you can see right here as well, there's going to be some 13th anniversary. It's Plarium, the company. Their 13th anniversary is going to be on during this week. If you squint really hard, you could. This actually reads Diablo Immortal. We have to stop them, so that's cool. But yeah, there's going to be events on for that and some gifts and stuff. I'll give you info on that tomorrow when the info comes out. I think Forge Pass is coming back tomorrow as well. So there might be some events on that might be taking your energy instead. But let's dive into it. Look, very quickly in terms of Corrupted, I'll show you some team comps. These four factions are just completely nuts. Knights Revenant, not that good, but the key thing here is we've got Renegade, giving us the Sacrificial Ritual, 2 turns off all of our ally skills. Renegade is in this set, and Prince Kaimar is in this set. So this gives us access to some crazy speed farm. We've got tons of HP burners. We've got Tyrant Ixlamor, Sissia Flame Tongue. Drexar can sort of do some, who else do we have in here? Of course, I think Crypt King Grawl, he can solo the damn thing now. Crypt King Grawl, he's extremely, extremely good. We've got tons and tons of options in here for the store stuff that you can do if you want to. Of course, the big one is going to be Coldheart is in this faction with the Heartseeker with the Dark Elves. So yeah, there's a lot of options for you. Now, I'd say if you're seriously looking to do this, at least in somewhat reasonable time, looking at stage 20 or 25, and you are definitely looking at a Coldheart team. So, for example, with this team comp, you'll see this is the first, actually, the first one I want to show you is this one. I think that's actually the best composition. I think it's 100%. Basically, my usual Spider 20 team is 2 Royal Guards, 2 Coldhearts, and a Lydia. Now, if Lydia gets resisted, if her decreased defense gets resisted, they probably won't kill the Spider. Because mine are geared kind of fast. Like my Royal Guards are geared with speed for Hydra. They're not geared to hit as hard as possible. So they won't 100% clear the dungeon. Right, they're in War Master and stuff like that. But it's a 100% run, but just sometimes it's slow. Sometimes it's really fast. I think you just do the same thing, but with 4 Coldhearts, and it's going to be even faster and even better. Again, it might be a little bit of a longer run if Lydia's stuff gets resisted, but it's going to be very quick. The other option for that team, by the way, if you have him, is consistent, and it's sort of the special thing that he does, but Ghostborn. Where is Ghostborn? Here he is. So Ghostborn does a decreased defense that cannot be resisted, and he also gives you increased attack. So that's the key thing there, is that there's always a 3% chance for your typical debuffs to be resisted. So Lydia, even with 1,000 accuracy, there's a 3% chance that decreased defense or the weak can get resisted. With Ghostborn, cannot be resisted, so it's gonna land. If he has enough accuracy, well, does he even need accuracy? I don't even know. I've never used the guy. But yeah, him with 4 Coldhearts should be able to absolutely slam through in about 13 seconds. No problem. I don't have 4 Coldhearts built up. I only have 2, so this wouldn't quite work. Now, a similar team, this one I think is a reasonable enough budget option if you have double Coldheart. If you don't, it's more difficult. But the idea here is you've got a Renegade who's going to reset. Depending on your speed, for example, my Renegade's really fast now for Doom Tower hard. So she's going to open with her A2, then she's going to Sacrificial Ritual. You just want her to reset the Coldhearts. So she needs to be timed with this AI preset to do the reset after they do their Heartseekers. Turn off their AoE, make them do their Heartseekers. Akoth the Seared, he is super free to play. You get him after 6 months of clearing Doom Tower normal. So yes, it takes some time. But for me personally, I know that on my account, he was the first AoE HP burner I had. I used him for a long time. As you can see, he's built sort of for Hydra in a weird way, and this is actually bad. So number one, he's better unbooked. For this purpose, he is better unbooked, and you don't want any crit rate, any crit damage, and then you don't really need any other stats. He needs only about like 150 speed or something. He just needs to be faster than the spiders and have about 220 accuracy. He just comes in, lands the HP burn, and he's chilling. That's all he needs to do. All this extra damage he's doing is actually bad. You'll see the Spiderlings die. Umbral Enchantress, same sort of thing. She just needs to be faster than the Spiderlings. Needs to have enough accuracy. Actually, higher speed is bad for her. And all this damage, these damage stats are really not helping us. So you'll see that this run is probably going to be slightly slower than it could be. You could run this exact same team. And this is for stage 20. And you would have great success. Even with much worse gear on your champions. The Cold Hearts just want, obviously it's just your standard Cold Heart build. Check out my Cold Heart guide. This is stage 20, so you probably go Flawless Execution, and you just have them do as much crit damage as they can with their Heart Seekers. So we can see we're coming in here. The burns are on. They are doing their work. Maybe I could even turn Akot's second A2 off, so he just goes into his A1. So that could work as well. We're chilling. Umbral Enchantress, she's tanking stuff up. She has counterattack accessory, so she did counterattack again. That's bad. You don't want her to do that. Really, it's just going to waste time with some of these animations. But you can see some of these Spiderlings are starting to die just from the AoE damage. But the last few burns should come in. It's not the fastest run in the world. You're going to be so much faster with the quadruple Cold Heart. This one takes about 50 seconds. So that's not too bad. To give you a concept of how the quadruple Cold Heart would work, it would be exactly like this, except faster. You'll see my Royal Guards are actually going to kill. I actually think I'm going to eventually gear up. There's an epic dwarf, Void, and I forget his name, but he does single target decrease defense and weaken, and he's Void. So he'd be better for this, because you can see right here, the 2 takedowns from the Royal Guards actually kill the Spiderlings that are debuffed, whereas the Spiderlings that aren't debuffed by Lydia, they don't die. So yeah, that's a 13-second run. I think it's more like an 11 or 12-second run on PC. If you had the dwarf instead of Lydia and they wouldn't die, or if you got Cold Hearts who are just doing the single target hit. But that's how the Cold Heart sort of team would work. Now for stage 25, again, there are other options for sure. So the other sort of team I wanted to show you for stage 25, I'm going to run this team. And here's another option. Let me throw this out as well. So stage 25 is blue affinity. You can duo it with Achak and Sissia. Now I tested it, and with these stats it did work. So Sissia was 220 speed. She's built, I'm building her for Hydra, but she's not booked, which made it kind of slow, but it worked. It'd be much better if she was booked. It would be 100% chance to burn and all the rest. Then Achak, he's again about that mid 220 speeds, 50k health, 2k defense, roughly 2.5k defense. And that's basically it, right? They did duo it, and you can put in food. It took 1 minute 40. One thing to watch out for, make sure you put in Corrupted Alliance food. Don't put in 1-stars from other factions. You're not going to get your tournament points. Now, this team I'm going to show you here, we got Kymar instead of Renegade. They do the exact same thing. We got Akoth. I would use Sissia for stage 25, for sure, except my Sissia isn't booked. So she can't place the HP burn reliably, so it wouldn't be a reliable run. If she was booked, I'd obviously use her instead. In my actual stage 25 runs, I use Mordecai at the moment because he puts on burns without doing any damage to the Spiderlings. So it's sort of a balancing act. Sissia, by the way, again, all these HP burners are basically better with as little gear as possible. They want as little gear as possible so that they do the absolute bare minimum damage to the Spiderlings. You want to keep them alive so that these burns tick over and they do some work. And you can see this team is better. This team is faster, 36 seconds. Basically because we're freezing the Spiderlings, they don't have attack animations, so stuff goes through much, much faster. Compared to the Umbral Enchantress sort of composition. So that works well with the 36 seconds. I guess we can throw this. We'll see if it works. Let's do a little test run here, shall we, with these, and we'll see if it works. We could get lucky, and Sissia might super roll lucky and burn everything, despite being the wrong affinity. Despite not being booked up. We'll see. So Firestorm right goes out. She actually burned a lot of them. She missed a few, though. Then she explodes the burns. So yeah, that's the sort of thing as that works. Crypt King Growl, like I said, can do this too. Obviously with this run, it's slower because the Spider Bows, he gets a turn. Okay, he gets a turn. We don't have any turn meter control, no Cold Hearts. So that is going to happen. If you don't have any Cold Hearts, I'm really not sold on on doing this, you know? Really not sold on it. Oh, nuts. Oh, look at that. Actually, the Mastery threw it off. She tried to blow up the burns before there were any burns out. So that's going to slow us down. I think it's still fine, probably. But that was a Mastery procced. She's got a Mastery again for Hydra, throwing stuff. It's kind of annoying with Sissia, right? to actually build her with decent stats and stuff for Hydra, it really, really interferes with Spider running. I'd really love a second Sisia. Boom, there's the flame eruption. They go. Actually took only 1 minute. That was ironically ended up being faster that time for whatever reason. It'd be great to have a second Sisia, like an ungeared one, ungeared, unbooked Sisia for Spider. In fact, it'd be great to have 3 or 4 Sisias, so we could have 1 properly geared for Hydra and then 3 ungeared for Spider. But that worked just fine. So there you go. You can level up some food and do some of the champion training that's on the moment as well. With this, took a minute. That's really not bad. That's really not bad. Sissy and Achak, and they're sort of irreplaceable. Well, Achak is replaceable by Crypt King Grawl, but I mean, it's unlikely that you don't have Achak, but you do have Crypt King Grawl. He's super good. He's AoE burn, and then he's an AoE freeze that extends burns. So it's like, boom, perfect. But there you go, guys. If you have any sneaky teams, any sneaky suggestions, let me know. I think they're the main strats. Obviously, Lydia can be good with some of that turn meter steal. She can help you with some turn meter control. She could fill in if you don't have a second Cold Heart. Vizix could come in, and she could do that. Wouldn't be terrible. You could try to be lucky with a Poison Explosion comp with Zafia. I'm not sure if that's a great idea, though. But those are sort of the main things I would say. Yeah, like I said, for me, I'm probably not going to bother really doing this tournament. I could, but I'm just going to be saving my resources for any of the 13th anniversary stuff that's happening during the week, pretty much, and whatever the next fusion's going to be. Obviously, I'll give you the info as soon as I have it. But there you go, guys. There you go. Spiders, Corrupted, Alliance only. Tons of really good options. So many burners. Cold Hearts are in there. Thank you for watching. See you next time.